So, Prof, have you published Saya Budak Kampung? I really enjoyed all his time creating the short story.
I will work on it.
Okay.
Maybe extend
Looking forward.
the story, improve the graphic, make it more include more kind of
Okay.
lessons. Oh, you were the one who asked the question last week.
Yeah, one of them.
Okay. Yeah, that book was created as like play. My mind. Yeah. No, it's not really a serious one. I like to test, to try out a lot of things. So, but now I think probably I will try to improve, try to create a proper one lah. Yeah.
Again, looking forward. All
Thank you,
right.
thank you.
Okay, Prof, I think we can begin now. It's already 9:30.
Yeah, we can start on time. Yeah.
All right. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so let's begin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So a warm welcome to all of you. Okay, whether you're joining us for the first time or have been part of our UMT online webinar series on academic training. So before we begin, let us collectively recite Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for joining us in this online academic training webinar series under the Center for Talent Development and Innovation, Pusat Pembangunan Bakat Universiti PBI, Universiti Malaysia Terengganu. So for your information, the topic for today's webinar is Achieving Excellence Through Professionalism in Teaching. It's a 3-hour session, 9:30 until 12:30. Okay, where we 3 hours.
2 hours.
We will explore. Yeah, but we'll have break time. Inshallah.
Okay.
Okay, so our target would be we will explore the key elements of professionalism in education and how they can contribute to effective teaching practices and student learning outcomes. So I'll begin by introducing myself first. My name is Nurhafeza Salam, and I'm the moderator for today's webinar. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce our esteemed speaker, Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias, who also was with us previously in last week academic training on 7 June on teaching and learning using generative AI tools, hence the storybooks. Okay, but today is about career development. So again, Assalamualaikum and welcome back, Prof. Okay.
Salam.
All right. So now I'm going to, before I give the floor to Prof, okay, I would like to share his impressive background in professionalism in education. So for your information, okay, currently Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias serves as a distinguished fellow at UNITEN, continuing to contribute his expertise to the field of education. He has played a pivotal role as the co-chairman of the National Technical Lead Committee, leading the development of Malaysia's MOOC, and has been actively involved in shaping the future of higher education. So we got the right person, okay, through his contributions as writer to the Malaysian Education Blueprint 2015 to 2025, and as master trainer for ACAP. In terms of professionalism in teaching, Prof. Karim is a highly accomplished educator who served as a professor of food technology at the School of Industrial Technology, University Science Malaysia, USM, for over 28 years. He held various administrative roles, including Deputy Dean and Director of the Center for Development and Academic of Excellence, CDAE, and served as a Senate representative on the University Board of Governors. So recognized for his exceptional teaching, Prof Karim also received a prestigious National Academy Award for Teaching from the Ministry of Higher Education of Malaysia in 2008. He has also received numerous accolades such as Rising Star Award in 2015 for his research contributions in agricultural sciences, food science and technology, and the Malaysia Research Star Award for 4 consecutive years. In recognition of his outstanding contributions again, okay, Prof Karim was also honored with 2 prestigious national awards, Higher Education E-Learning Maestro Award, and latest Best Trendsetter Award at International University Carnival on E-Learning, IUCEL 2022 last year. So we're privileged to have Prof Karim as our esteemed speaker for today, being the renowned expert in the field of teaching and contributed significantly to the advancement of educational practice. So inshallah, his deep understanding of professionalism in teaching will inspire us to strive for excellence in our educational endeavors and to become better educators. So without further ado, I now invite Professor Dr. Abdul Karim Alias to the virtual stage. So Prof, floor is yours.
Thank you, Puanja, for very nice introduction.
No problem.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat sejahtera, selamat pagi kepada semua sahabat-sahabat rakan akademik. I assume mostly academic here. From UMT especially, the host. Thank you for having me again this week. And also maybe, I guess because UMT is generously share or open this session also to the public. So I have shared also the link, the information about this webinar to my circle as well. So I believe many of them probably are here. So thank you again, UMT, for having me for consecutive week. Last week, I've shared about AI, artificial intelligence, AI application or AI tools, and how we can leverage the power of AI in education. And I've shown some examples, and I've received a lot of feedback, very positive, very encouraging feedback. Thank you so much for those who have reached out to me personally, because many of them was excited from the session last week. So before I start the actual topic that we're going to discuss this week, I'm very excited to share with you, and the link I've shared also in the chat box. So let me share the screen. Before I proceed, Puanja, can you verify that the audio, my voice is clear? Crystal clear?
Yes,
Clear,
crystal clear. Yes.
Okay, so I want to share the screen. I want to show something. Okay. Can you see my Facebook? This. Okay. Yeah, I always promote this Facebook, the World of Academia, and I've shared the link also in the chat. So I really, I want everyone, educators especially, to join this group, because it is where I share everything about the latest things about teaching and learning, about education. And now I'm sharing a lot about AI, artificial intelligence, and how we can utilize this in teaching and learning especially. So I posted recently this is actually a second children book which I have produced using AI. In this case, 6 different AI applications. So this was covered last week. So after the webinar, I created the first ebook using the AI tool, and this one is second one. So very quickly, I just want to show you, and the link to this
Magical Cave and the Lost Sister. Join Aiden on a magical quest as he discovers a hidden cave and the story of his past. With the help of the newfound sister Isha and their loving grandma, they embark on an enchanting adventure filled with surprises, friendship, and the power of love.
Because I can see
the story begins.
AI things will
Once
open
upon
up
a time, in a
plenty
cozy
of
little house at the edge of a
opportunities for
magical
educators to
forest,
be very
lived a cute
creative.
little boy named Aiden. Aiden was a
And
curious
all
little boy with round
everything that you see on
glasses.
the screen now,
He was a kind-hearted
picture,
and gentle
image,
soul
the
adopted by a
text,
loving elderly woman, Grandma Fatima.
the
Aiden loves
voiceover,
animals.
the child voice
One night,
that you are
an
listening
elderly
now.
woman appeared
I
in
hope
his dream and
you can play
revealed he had a little
the
sister
music,
named
the
Asia.
background music.
She told
Everything
Aiden about a
was
small cave
created
near
with
his
different
house that
AI
held the key
tools.
to his past.
Yeah,
It holds the key to uncovering the story of your past, and it will lead you to your sister, she whispered, her voice as soft as a gentle breeze. He
that's the
woke up,
end.
his heart pounding. Aiden knew he
Okay.
had to find that cave and discover the truth about his past and his long-lost sister.
I just close. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, colleagues, please join this Facebook. The reason because I want to share a lot of useful stuff, and I hope the members also will share through their own circle, their own social media, WhatsApp, and so on, so that we can spread the knowledge, share the information as wide as we can, far and wide. So this is what I always use this term. Every one of us can create the ripple effect. Every one of us can create our own small ripple, but when all of us combine together, all the ripples combine together, we can create a larger ripple, a larger impact. That's basically my mission. And I hope everyone here who are listening in this session this morning will have that in their mind and in their heart. Because part of being a professional educators, which I'm going to elaborate shortly, is to step out or to expand our own bubble, stretch our bubble, reach out to as many people, as many learners out there. So we are talking about global educators now. It's no longer teaching in our own classroom within the physical wall of our classroom or within the boundary of our own campus, but we go out, stretch our bubble, go to the national level, international level, and with all the technology that we have now, with all the digital platform we have now, with the AI tools that we have now, there is no reason why we don't want to, share and create content and share with people around the world. So that's basically, ladies and gentlemen, my first message this morning. So let me now share the PowerPoint. So I have a PowerPoint to share, and I will give the link to download the PowerPoint at the end of the presentation. So I have a lot of slides. I don't think I can cover everything because let's use this session this morning to have dialogue, a conversation. So feel free to interject anytime, share your thought as well. You don't have to agree everything with I say because I'm taking from my own perspective here, talking about professionalism and being a professional educators from my point of view. So my POV, so to speak. So I'm sure you have your own experience, which you can relate, and feel free to share because I think it's good to kind of learn from each other, from different experiences as well. All right, now PowerPoint. So the title today, Achieving Excellence Through Professionalism in Teaching. This topic is not kind of a kind of topic that you hear every day. not many people talk about professionalism in the context of teaching. But I'm sure we have heard the word professionalism in different contexts. We talk about sport, for example, professional footballers, professional in terms of career. When we use the term professional in our mind, what comes to our mind? Lawyers, doctors. When we talk about professional bodies, professional agencies that govern certain of our academic programs, engineer board, for example, the pharmacy medical board. So we call them professional bodies. So we use this the term professional in those contexts. But in the context of education, I think it's very seldom, hardly, we talk about professionalism in the context of education. And we hardly link ourselves or associate ourselves with the word professional, meaning that we don't use the term professional teachers. We hardly use the term professional educators, right? But when I think about this, I think moving forward in the world of so-called VUCA, in the fourth industrial revolution, Industry 4.0, in the world of digital with AI coming to our doorstep, professionalism in education and being a professional educators, to me, is the key for us to survive in the future, come what may, whether we are going to have a second, a third pandemic, whether we are going to be locked up for a long time, whether we have to do online learning for indefinite time, we are going to do well. We are going to survive, provided we are a truly professional educators. So I want to, later on I will define what does it mean by being a professional educators. What does it mean by professionalism in the context of education? Okay. So these are among the things that I'm going to touch on, kind of touch and go. A lot of things actually when we want to dive deeper into this. I hope you can bear with me and you can really focus, because as I mentioned earlier, it's not every day people talk about professionalism and being a professional educators. But to me, this is very critical, extremely important for us moving forward. So the meaning and the elements of professionalism, and what are the traits of professional educator? What does it take for us to define ourselves as being a professional educator? And how do we go about being a professional educator? Strategies for achieving professionalism in teaching. And of course, if we have time, in the context of lifelong and life-wide learning, because we cannot talk about professionalism by and not talking about lifelong learning at the same time. It's part and parcel. And as usual, I love quotes, and I always start my presentation with quotes. And this one is one of my all-time favorites from Maya Angelou. Let's read this together word by word and try to internalize, menghayatinya ya. You have sacrificed a lot to be here. I'm here to tell you how grateful I am and remind you that you are rainbows in clouds. Such powerful words. If you have been teaching for a long time, even for a few years, you will understand, you will appreciate what sacrifice means, right? So you have sacrificed a lot to be here. You have sacrificed a lot to get your PhD. and then spend your time, in the education environment. So Maya Angelou said, I'm here to tell you that you are doing the right thing. You are in the best profession in the world, and you are rainbows in clouds. So I hope these quotes really would inspire you, really would give you a new kind of energy. If you feel down, look at this quote and try to get the positive vibe from this to get you going. Okay. So, but the reality of day-to-day life as an academic, the struggle is real. And for those women out there, educators among you, the women, I really put my tabit spring to all of you. You are even have a greater challenges compared to me, I think. Because in my case, my wife take half of the responsibility, taking care of the family and so on, so I can focus on the academic. But for those women, I think it's a different story. So, but remember, this is the reality that we have to face every day, a day of in the life of an academic. What you see in the list here is just a handful of what we do every day. Someone, when you see this one, I get feedback from people. They say, "Wow, this is not complete. This is incomplete, Prof." Yeah, I know it is not complete, but even with the list that we have here, we have to publish, we have to teach, we have to do research, we have to design a conference, lecture, supervision, external commitment. I just came from MQA meeting just now, and I have to excuse myself because I have a webinar. So even in the retirement, I still have a lot of things to do. What's more, you are now in a full-time job. I can understand that. I've experienced then. I experienced that. Yeah, been there, done that. So daily routine as mother, wife, husband, son, daughter, grandpa. So it's a me time. Down here, me time. So you have to juggle a lot of things every day. I understand that. So that's a day in the life of an academic. But having said this, I think we have to be careful and be mindful. We cannot use this as an excuse in terms of delivering our best when come to our tugas hakiki, our real, what we're supposed to deliver in our job as an educator. So this is what the topic today is about. And these words are my words, because this is what I believe, and this is what I advocate, and this is what I practice. Before we even talk about professionalism and being a professional, and talk about professional development and professional growth, we have to start with ourselves. We have to start loving ourselves first. So we talk about personal growth. Because if you don't take care of yourself first, then how do you want to take care of the family? If you don't take care of your family, how are you going to take care of your work, the professional part? So that's why, first and foremost, I think we have to look at, or the starting point would be on the personal growth, because personal growth drives the professional growth. Well, this is my opinion, my view on this. You may not agree. It's okay. We can agree to disagree. We can also share what's your thought on this one in the chat box. Yeah. But this is my take on this. So the first thing, a call to action number one. So I have a few call of action throughout this presentation. The first one is, please take care of yourself and family before even talking about other things. Please take care of yourself and family. The struggle is real. Yes, the struggle is real. That's why I start with this one. And if you feel lost anytime, or now or anytime, I urge all of you, talk to your friend, talk to your mentors, talk to your family members and so on. But I have one book that I want to share with you now, which I find excellent. This book, Unraveling Faculty Burnout, Pathway to Reckoning and Renewal. If you want to invest your money in buying books, this is one of the books that I would recommend. Yeah, by Rebecca here, because here actually she really talk about the reality of being a teacher or academic in schools and in academic institution, because the expectation and the demand now is so high, and we are expected to deliver. No compromise there, no excuses there. We have to deliver. There's no option. There's no two ways about it. So there's always a tendency, especially for young educators, young lecturers, especially when they join the university and they look at the environment is very kind of driven towards achieving something in terms of publication and so on. So they get the wrong message that this is the most important thing, and teaching can become a sideline. And to me, this is very sad, because I think we have to remember all the time that we are here in the university first and foremost because of the students. If the university do not have students, then we can call ourselves what? Maybe research institution? Just doing research. We don't do teaching. So we might as well call ourselves researcher rather than a holistic academic. Let's think about it. Let's pause for a moment and think about it deep in our heart. Why we are here, the big why we are here in the first place. By default, by choice. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this is a call to action number one. Please take care of yourself and your family. Personal growth drives professional growth. Having someone to go is home. Having someone to love is family. And having both is a blessing. So when you have both, then you can now put your mind and your focus, quality time that you have, to your work and deliver the quality product, quality work, quality teaching, quality publication, quality supervision, quality in everything. A call to action number one. Number two, let's talk about professionalism and our aim. Everyone without fail should enhance their professionalism. As I mentioned earlier, moving forward in the world of VUCA, the world that is volatile, the world that is uncertain, we don't know what's going to happen next, tomorrow, the world that is complex, every problem can become more complex in the future, the world that is ambiguous. There's no clarity in everything now. So how do we put ourselves in this context? And how do we educate our people, our students, our children now to live in this kind of world? So now start with us first. Enhance our professionalism. So let's define what professionalism is before we go further. So this is one of the definition. Enhance the professionalism of teachers and education administrators. Not only the teachers, not only the lecturers, but including everyone, including the administrators. Imagine in our university, in the ministry, in any government agencies, everyone, if everyone is professional, then we don't have all these issues of inefficiency, incompetency. So what we want to counter the so-called VUCA is to become more agile. So A is no longer ambiguous, but A now become agile, adaptive. That is A that we should have in the VUCA world. And that is how being a professional, some of the traits of being a professional educator is being agile, is being adaptive. When you are agile and adaptive, come what may, let's say if you are put in the new environment with new people, with the new challenges, with the new problems, you can deal with it. You can deal with it heads on because you are agile, you are adaptive. Just like at the beginning of pandemic, if our educators are already familiar with online blended learning and so on, there will be no havoc. There wouldn't be like havoc at that time, people are kind of panicking and so on. So because the issue was, the problem was at that time, many of educators are not ready for online. They are not agile. They are not adaptive. Or well, later on, yeah, they have to they adapted themselves, but it takes some time. So professionalism, when we say enhance the professional of teachers, so that we can. So the reason why, this is actually the why of being a professional and professionalism, we have not yet defined it properly, is basically some traits is actually to being agile and being adaptive. So that when we are professional in the true sense, we can deliver so-called the next generation student experience. We are dealing with the next generation. So we have the millennial, the X, the Y, the Z generation, and whatnot. So, well, we tend to label. But listen, doesn't really matter. Things are moving at exponential rate with technology. So now we are worried about how we deal with ChatGPT, how we change our assessment, and so on. So these are the things when we say being adaptive, we are able to find solution for the new problem. Okay. So now let's look at more detail now. What does it mean by being a professional? So let's look at some of the definition. A professional is a person who possesses a personal body of knowledge. Okay, in terms of expertise, this person has a body of knowledge. So you have the expertise in certain area. You have a PhD in this area. You have masters in this area. So you have the know-how. Maybe the know-who. Nowadays, I think know-how and know-who are equally important as well, which is recognized. People recognize, the society recognize, the country recognize this person, and valued as well by this definition is in the context of business, but we can substitute the market here. It can be by the society, by the nation, by the university, by the faculty, by the students, by other professional. So that is basically in the nutshell what professional means. So in our conversation, sometimes we say, "Oh, come on lah, be professional." What does it mean in that context? Come on lah, be professional lah. Don't be like a child. Be professional lah. So meaning that in that sense, if you are a professional in this, based on this definition, the way you behave, the way the professional behave is also, is translated and manifest in the form of the behavior that we expected of being a professional. That's what we mean by be professional. You are not acting like a professional. You are not acting like a lawyer. You're not acting like a doctor. You are not acting like a professional educator. You are not acting like a professional. That's behavior. Yeah, we are talking about the behavior. So be professional and professionalism is believing passionately in what you do. You really believe that you are in the right profession. You really believe that, in whatever that you do, you love what you do, and you do it with love. You do it with kasih sayang. Really, you do it from the bottom of your heart, believing passionately in what you do, never compromising your standards and values, your benchmark. And everyone has their own standard and values, their own benchmark. So sometimes that is not enough. You want to go beyond. And caring about your clients, in this case, our students, our stakeholders, young people, and your own career. That's one way of defining professionalism. And the other way, the other definition of professionalism from the dictionary here is the conduct, the aims or qualities that characterize or mark a profession or professional person. So the conduct, see, the conduct, how do you conduct yourself as a professional? Your behavior, how you project your image, how do you project your persona, how you deal with your student, how do you talk with your students, how do you talk to your colleagues, how do you talk to other professionals, how you carry yourself, your self-image, the way you attire, the way you dress, and so on. So the conduct, the aims, qualities that characterize or mark a profession or professional person. We expect certain kind of behavior, of a professional. So professionalism, in my own words, well, if you simply perform your duties in accordance with the job descriptions, the JDs, meaning that just enough, then you are putting in just enough effort, which basically fine. That's okay. That's okay. For all intent and purposes, that's okay. You have done your part. You have done your share. However, if you go above and beyond the JDs, go the extra mile and deliver results. And these results are better than expected. The output and the outcome and the impact are better than expected. Then you have demonstrated the highest level of professionalism. I think at this point, probably for this sharing this morning, I think I'm happy just to stop at this point. Because to me, the main message that I want to convey, deliver this morning, my mission is for everyone to understand that in our education, at any level, school or university, and all the issues that we are facing now, the systemic problem, the systemic issues that we have been discussing for the school, and also universities, stem out, the root of the cause is, to me, whether you agree or not, you can say in the chat box, the root cause is lack of professionalism. And because of lack of professionalism, then the consequences is maybe lack of competency, lack of discipline, and so on. Would you agree with me or not? It's okay if you don't agree. I don't expect all of you to agree. So if you agree, please say yes in the chat box. If you disagree, say no. Or maybe you can share some thoughts on this one in the chat. And probably I'd like to invite one or two of the participants to say something about my thoughts on professionalism here. Anyone like to share your thoughts on the screen now? Is my own definition of professionalism. Anyone like to share your thought? Maybe Dr. Sufril. Sorry to call out your name. I just happen to see your name here. So Dr. Sufril, you have any thought on this one? Being a professional and also the professionalism in the way I define it? Or maybe Dr. Anusha. These are USM, yeah? Because I happen to know them. Dr. Ashrina, yeah. Yeah, Dr. Anusha, yeah.
Yes.
So any thoughts? Would like to share your perspective here?
Okay. For me, I think this word is subjective to the person themselves, and maybe the hierarchy the person is in the institution. Because sometimes, let's say the person at the top of the hierarchy, for them professionalism defined to be extra mile, for example. That's where the KPI and expectation are coming in. So you are only eligible to be rewarded when you are meeting that professionalism standard.
Meeting
But
the
as
KPI.
an individual, for me, just enough effort maybe is okay. And I feel I'm doing my best, but that not being rewarded. So it's very subjective, I would say. Yeah, for me, I think. But how do you leverage in between? I think everyone is facing that scenario now, and some of us are saying, yeah, brain drain is happening because of that. I think it's not being, recognized, rewarded per se. Yeah, that's my thought, Prof.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So basically, you're saying that defining professionalism and being professional, it depends on where, from which standpoint, or your position, your current position now, your where you are now in the hierarchy of the organization, maybe, right? So, well, I appreciate that. Anyone else, Dr. Khadijah, you like to add to it?
Hi, Prof.
Hi.
Rachel here from UMS.
Yeah, silakan.
Remember?
Rachel, yeah, Dr. Rachel, how are you? Yeah.
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm an engineer. So as
Yeah.
an engineer point of view, a professional actually is fulfilling a contract to what you purport to do. Thing like if you were to make a good road, then you make sure you ethically use the funds that you request to actually make the road good so everybody can use it for the betterment of everyone. So in terms of being a lecturer, I also believe that I took an agreement with the university and also to fulfill my duties in what they have listed for me to fulfill. It's very tough. Like you said earlier, I think I'm close to burnout, and I think I'm the type of person who needs someone to talk to now. But basically, I still hold on to the fact that I'm a professional. I bite my lip and tongue and just plug on, because sometimes it's hard, but sometimes it can be easy. Sometimes you get rewards, sometimes you get punishment, but you have to take it all in. Macam cycle, roda lah. Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. So as you go forward, you go up and down. So that's it. That's professionalism. You purport, you fulfill what you purport to do in the job that you have agreed to take upon yourself. So that's professional. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Really very good points there also. So we can look at from different lenses, kind of different point of views. I think this is really good because when we look at certain concept, like what does it mean by being professional, and the professionalism itself, there are many layers. I always think of the analogy or the metaphor is like an onion. So you have to really peel off layer by layer by layer. And then while doing that, reflect on ourselves, whether we meet those criteria of being a professional in our context, in education, and being in also professionalism. Whether we just perform our duty, one is we have to look at our competency. Professionalism is also about competency. Can you perform your whatever the job description have listed for your job? Have you delivered the best? Or have you delivered not only the best, but beyond the best? This the extra mile. Have you stretched yourself enough that you feel that you cannot go any further? You are at the point of burning out, as Dr. Rachel mentioned just now. So these are sometimes when we talk about this kind of topics, which seldom talk about, it's good time for us to reflect, to do a reflection, take a break, pause for a while, look back, muhasabah, and in the last 10 years, 20 years, 25 years, what have you done? Have I met all these criteria of being really a professional educators? Have I delivered not only the best, but beyond the best? Or is it below the par or below the expectation? All these things, we ask questions, a list of questions on ourselves. And perhaps the best way also, which I have recommended to young lecturers, do a SWOT analysis, self-SWOT. Siapa pernah buat SWOT untuk diri sendiri? Yeah, it's interesting exercise, you can Google self-SWOT. Yeah, it's interesting exercise for you to do so that you can reflect how far and how good you have performed so far in the context of being a professional. Okay, right. Let me quickly scan through the chat if there's any question that I can address. One or two before we proceed. Okay, maybe Puanja can help me also to point out, to highlight any question that I can address before I proceed. Okay.
There's no question, but
Okay.
we have good comments.
All right, thank you so much. Now let me proceed. Now, let's take this professional and professionalism in our own context now in teaching, yeah? So this is how I put it. Professionalism in teaching refers to the adherence to a set of standard behaviors, remember, behaviors and values that reflect a commitment to excellence and a sense of responsibility and accountability towards students, colleagues, and the wider community. So I'm not sure whether this is everything here is my own words or I took it from somewhere, but whatever it is, the main message here, and I put in bold also here, adherence to a set of standards. But when we say standard, our mindset sometimes when we say standard, then we are kind of bound to that, meaning that it's kind of a shackle that would immobilize you. You just have to comply and you cannot go beyond. To me, no. The standard is something that there's a baseline that everyone should adhere to, the baseline kind of criteria, performance standard, whatever that you need to achieve. But it doesn't stop you from going beyond that. And behaviors, what we expect being a professional educators, what kind of behaviors and values that we show, that we project to our students, to our stakeholders, and commitment to excellence. So at UNITEN, I have come up with a so-called competency for a competency framework for teaching excellence. And we will define what excellent means in the context of teaching also. Yeah? Commitment to excellence and a sense of responsibility, meaning that all the time, despite all the challenges that we are facing every day, the ball that we have to juggle, family ball, the work ball, but we always have and remind ourselves and be mindful that we have the responsibility here. Every single cent that I earn from my salary need to be counted for. And then accountability. So, you know, the Spider-Man or Superman, yang kata, with power come responsibility. Yeah, something like that. Towards students, because students actually pay, they come to the university and they expect to get the best education from us. They don't care about our excellent research. They only care about what kind of education they will get, what kind of learning experience they will get during the 4 years here, what kind of educational experience. That's why in our program outcome, we use the term educational experience, PEO. Why don't we call it program learning experience, PLE? Why? Because educational experience consists of learning experience and life experience in the campus during the 4 years, outside the campus, life experience when we interact with them and so on, when the administrators, the support staff have interaction with them, everything. When they go to the canteen, when they go to the sport complex, everything that is part of the life experience. When we put together the life experience and learning experience, it becomes educational experience. Once I asked this question as auditors, asked the staff, why we use the term educational experience? Why not learning experience? Many cannot answer. So that's what, to me, educational experience is about. And to deliver all this, because remember, the program outcome and the learning outcome are our promise to the students. If we don't deliver or fall short of delivering the promise, the outcome, then we fail. So in order for us to deliver those program outcome and the learning outcome, we need to be a professional educators that are competent, that are all these qualities lah. We will look at it shortly. So this is something to ponder for every one of us here. A professional, oops, no. Sorry. Okay, a professional educator does not consider his or her profession to be merely a job, but rather a calling that is centered on the care of children or students, the ability to establish personal relationships and connection with students is a distinguishing characteristic of successful teacher. In the previous webinar with UNITEN or with other organizers, I talk about the framework for online teaching, which is Community of Inquiry, COI. So I mentioned about 3 C's. 3 C's: connection, communication, and community. If we have these 3, then we can really deliver the best. So here we talk about personal relationship. We talk about connecting with our students, the students connecting with each other. You'll be surprised if you ask a group of students in your class, a group of 50 or 60, whether they know the name of each other after second semester, third semester. I was surprised when I discovered that many of you do not know each other after second semester, third semester in the university. There's no basically a proper community there, you know, because the connection and the communication probably have not happened properly. So the ability to establish personal relationship and connection with students is a distinguishing characteristic of successful teacher or professional teacher or professional educator. So something to ponder here. Maybe you like to give some thoughts in the chat box, whether you agree with this one or whether you have other points. Your take on being a professional and professionalism. So let me ask you at this point, I think we can take a break shortly. What is your best investment so far for your personal and professional growth? Can you share? If everyone here can share, I don't know how many participants we have now. Please share in the chat box. Take 1 minute to put your thinking head now. If you can respond to these questions, what is your best investment so far for your personal and professional growth? Have you invested your time? For example, today you are attending this one, so I guess you are investing your time now, your precious time. And I hope you are really listening and focusing rather than multitasking. So time is one of the investment. Have you invested your money? Subscribing to all the website, maybe software applications, magazines, books. For example, just now, if you want to buy the book about the burnout tadi, and a book, my favorite book, How Learning Works, for example. That's an example of investment in terms of monetary money. You don't think twice about investing your money, spending your money to buy books, to buy software, to buy whatever needed so that you can deliver the best learning experience to your students. You don't think twice about attending short courses, workshops, webinar like this, whether in Malaysia or outside. You attend a program organized by your teaching and learning center because of not the CPD point, but because you want to learn. So when you attend a webinar like this, your intention is to learn, and you will listen and focus. That is your investment of time. Yeah. So let me jump to the chat and see whether we get some response here. Okay, yeah. From Dr. Razia. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Razia. Ajak ya orang PPJJ join ya. Investing time and effort in applying for IELTS. This is Dr. Razia from PPJJ or from somewhere. And Cambridge Examiner certification. Very good. Very good, Dr. Razia. Yeah. Spending money here, investing your money. Yeah. Tak perlu claim daripada universiti pun. Because selalu orang tanya bila saya buat workshop ya, especially on using tools, software kan. Ini kalau nak subscribe ni kita boleh claim tak daripada grant kan? Saya susah lah nak jawab soalan macam tu kan. Kalau boleh claim, bolehlah claim lah kan. Engaging with medium.com for online reading. Great, Dr. Rashid. Attending conferences, software training using own expenses. Dr. Noor Ashikin, believe me, every cent that you have invested will come back to you, will benefit the students, will benefit education. From Dr. Wong here, now was thinking of buying a Mac device, but it's expensive. Yes, it is expensive, but that's the best investment ever for me, investing on Mac, because you can't go wrong with Mac. I don't get any commission here. Yeah, okay. From Dr. Zurina, grooming class. Why not? Yeah, grooming class. Because you want to learn how to communicate well, how to give public speaking, how to project your image. Yeah, grooming class to me is recommended. Sleep time. Yeah, invest sleep time because I'm more productive work at night. Yeah, that's also investment, yeah. Or sacrifice also. Investing time, money, and professional cert. Yeah, good. Dr. Maizatul. Dr. Mai from UNITEN kan ni? Wah, I thought you have attended this same topic before. Well, these are the true lifelong learners, yeah. Few from UNITEN here, Dr. Mai, Dr. Puan Ayu, Haji Rosli, to me they are real lifelong learner, yeah. Dr. Fauziah here, taking ownership of your own learning and discovery can be independent. Betul, tak perlu tunggu bantuan lain sebab akan manfaat sendiri. Yeah, that's very good. Spending props for interactive activities in classroom. Yeah, why not? Yeah. One-to-one coaching program. Excellent. Yeah. Subscribe educational tool using own money, investing time. Puan Ja, betul, betul. I spend thousand. Oh. Every year nak renew apa ni subscription on my credit card tu, thousands ya. But of course lah dia orang kata gaji tinggi Prof, okey lah tak apalah, tinggi sikit je kan. Yeah, so thank you so much for the response, really really appreciate it, yeah. But at this point we will take 5 minutes break. To me, if you want to really improve yourself, when we talk about, remember just now, personal growth, so like the grooming and so on can be personal growth, can be professional also. So personal growth, personal development, and professional development, these two, we have to, it has to go hand in hand. Yeah, hand in hand. And we need to invest our time, our energy, our money, yeah, and sacrifice also. I went to Japan for my research attachment. I didn't bring my family because to me, I went there for a purpose. I want to focus on my research publication. I don't want to play. I don't want to waste my time. So my family sacrificed. So I invested my money as well, my time to acquire new skill, to improve my publication, because when I went there, I really focused on publication during the 3 months. So all these are actually something that we need to plan by design. Yeah. So everything should be by design. So for example, next year, for example, I'm going to attend this 1 week course, short course, certified course in Melbourne. That's what I did last time. I planned ahead. So I know what kind of short courses, workshop, and so on that I want to attend because I want to improve myself. So I guess at this point, Puan Ja, boleh kita take a short break 5 minit macam tu?
Okay, sure. We will take 5 minutes break. Okay, so 5 minutes break. The time now is 10:51. So the break will be 10:56.
Okay. See you all.
Until 10 to,
Yeah.
10:56. Okay. Let's drink coffee.
Coffee. Tu. Order coffee. Coffee satu, Mama.
Okay, it's already 10:56.
Okay, shall we start again, yeah?
All right.
All right. So let's continue. So I hope you have taken your short break, have a coffee or tea, and while doing that, maybe we can reflect on what we have discussed so far. I saw in the chat, Dr. Iriani sahabat tadi kan, husband and wife working as an academic, as lecturers, yeah. So both are very busy, extremely busy, and you have to juggle a lot of things at the same time without dropping anything. So yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. Later on, basically, we want to talk about how do we deal with all this to be really professional, dealing with all the challenges. Those are the strategies, yeah, among other things, to develop our own workflow until we feel comfortable. So those are some of the strategies. I saw also in the chat, someone said about, yeah, the demand on the academic staff now, including teachers in school, lecturers at the university, especially in the research university, but not only RUs now, but also many universities, IPTs in Malaysia now, going towards kind of follow the crowd, because the crowd is looking at ranking and so on. So I don't want to argue about the validity of ranking or whether we should go for ranking or not. So this is not a forum that I want to deliberate on this. Because of that, the pressure is there for everyone to perform well, for all the institutions to perform well in ranking for many reasons, for funding from the ministry, whatever. And this pressure is basically trickled down to the ground level, which is to our staff. So we get a lot of stress and so on. So many people actually, some of them leave the university, brain drain issue. So how do we deal with this one? There was a question to me. Of course, it's not a one-liner kind of response to this type of questions, because there are more to it. So we need to look from many aspects. Yeah. So let's defer the discussion on that. We can dwell on it later on. Please ask the question again later on. So now, for now, I want to continue here. Another quote from me. If you are not growing, you are dying. Just like the brown leaf here, they started well with the green leaf, but now they have become yellow and later on brown, and finally probably will fall off on the ground. So remember, personal development, professional development, the word development is about growth. So when you do SWOT, your strength, weaknesses, threats, opportunities, when you do your own self SWOT, then you will see in the 4 quadrants. Well, you have to do it honestly and sincerely. Then you will realize that there are areas in the weaknesses that you can improve. They become your strength, and then you can actually create more opportunities. Opportunities is something that if you just wait for it to come, well, you can do that. But in the early stage of the career, you cannot just wait. You have to be proactive. So if you don't get opportunity, go out and seek for the opportunities. If you seek for opportunities, but still you cannot find the opportunity, you have to create opportunities. But whatever it is, we want to make sure ourselves to continue to grow in our profession. So if you are not growing, then you are dying. You don't want to let yourself to be in that situation. It can be very frustrating, can be very tricky, but it can be very damaging also in the long term. So I always portray this kind of professional and personal and professional growth, especially in teaching. We are talking about professionalism in teaching. This is my favorite slide here. I prefer to see it as a journey, because it is a journey. It's about growth. So professionalism in teaching is about the journey itself. It's about the growth. So we start off when we join the university, when we join as a new academic, we start as a novice. We are very green, just like the seed start to germinate to become a small plant. So if there's a strong wind, it will kind of uproot it, because the root is still very weak, not very long, not very widespread. So the young plant, just like the young academic, is still kind of finding its footing. It's still meraba-raba, still finding the area to do research, still being given courses to teach, courses that they don't expect to teach. They say they don't like the course. My PhD is this area. Now I'm forced to teach this area. All those issues are real, I know. And these are being a novice lecturers, being a novice researchers. That's basically the situation that you have to face. Okay. And a journey from being a novice to professional will take some time. So this is where you need a very good support system in the form of the family as well as the colleagues, in terms of the lab facilities, everything. Yeah, the ecosystem, the academic ecosystem, the research ecosystem in the university also should be very well established to support you. Okay, and ultimately, everyone in the academia should aim to become a scholar. What does a scholar means? So this is what Anugerah Academic Negara, AAN, the National Academic Award, we are looking for a scholar. Someone that probably with minimum 10 years have grown and developed themselves. Not only they are professional educators, but they are recognized as a scholar. Okay, so I like to share also this slide, the quotes from Don Wetrick here, innovation teacher for 18 years. This is really very powerful words here. You should constantly change and adapt with your students, because your students come in a different cohort, will have different behaviors, different motivation. So you can teach 20 years, but please don't teach 1 year 20 times. So if you understand this, the meaning of this, if you have been teaching for 20 years, but actually you keep repeating the same thing semester after semester after semester after semester, the same slides, the same activities, the same assignment, the same everything for 20 years. So that what it means by you teach 20, you don't teach 1 year 20 times. Okay. There used to be a joke, the transparency already become yellow, the writing on the transparency already faded, because there's no initiative to create new content, there's no initiative to create new innovation, there's no initiative to do more, to go beyond the textbooks, to go beyond the ordinary. And this is what, according to some people, Einstein said this: insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. We expect students to be like this, like this, like this, but we are doing the same thing again and again. There's no initiative, there's no proactive, there's no innovation from our part, and yet we expect the students to behave, to perform this way and this way. So being a scholar is a long journey. In Anugerah Academic Negara, we tetapkan, we say minimum 10 years. Because why 10 years? Because we feel that during the 10 years, from the novice to being a professional, then you can develop yourself and recognized by the society, by the peers, by the country. They recognize you as a scholar. We don't call ourselves a scholar. We don't label ourselves easily, simply as a scholar. People recognize us as being a scholar. And a scholar, a people or a person yang sangat cintakan ilmu. So they teach because they want to share the knowledge. They have wisdom because of the experience and the expertise. They have wisdom. Wisdom comes together with experience. But you can have experience, but not necessarily a wisdom. Menyebarkan dan berkongsi ilmu. To me, this is one of the main aspect or traits of being a scholar. You have the knowledge, you have the skill, but you don't keep it to yourself. A professional educator who share their knowledge far and wide, that can be recognized as a scholar. Oops. They are ahli fikir, thinker, or sometimes we use the term thoughts leader in their area, in their discipline. They are thoughts leader. They always come up with grand ideas, new ideas. They are strategic in everything. They look at the big picture. They don't talk operational only. They talk beyond the operational. They are academic leaders. They are always leading the way. They are the trailblazers. They are the groundbreakers. They publish seminal papers, not just ordinary paper, just to fulfill the KPI. They publish papers that will become a real reference, a source of new knowledge, extending the frontier of the knowledge. Menjana ilmu baru, discover new knowledge, not for the sake of whatever, but for the sake of knowledge. This, ladies and gentlemen, from being a professional to being a scholar. But today, of course, our focus is being a professional. But once you become a professional in a true sense, it's kind of natural. It will lead to developing yourself to become a scholar. So, professional development, if we want to look at the mapping of how we develop ourselves to grow ourselves from novice to professional, this is how we can picture it. When we talk about competency, because being a professional is also being a very competent. In the context of education, we have the mastery. We have reached a mastery level, experts in that particular discipline. So, but when we start off fresh from PhD, we are just novice. We are, in the first 5 years, I would say during the first 5 years, you are still exploring. You are still learning the rope, you are still finding the footing, still establish your so-called foundation. Because if you do it well during the first 5 years, you will establish a very strong foundation so that you can go to the next level, which is being a professional, which can happen between 6 to 10 years or 15 years, I would say, to develop yourself. So during this stage, you are adopting now. You are adopting a lot of best practices, good practices. You are adopting, the strategies to become, to become an innovative educators and a lot of things. So this is an adopting stage now. And ultimately, this is probably the ultimate thing that everyone have to reach this level, leading. So you become the so-called thoughts leader, academic leader. You become the role model. You basically look up to for advice and so on. You become a scholar. Because a scholar, just now, the ciri-ciri or the traits of a scholar are sharing knowledge, they have wisdom and so on. So I think this diagram, to me, this is the original, my original, I think I can claim that is my original kind of ideas here, original slide here. But this is how I picture, I visualize what professional development is about. To become a professional educator. Yeah. So the traits of professional educators I have mentioned just now, maybe we can look at more broader now. Professionalism in teaching translate into competence. You have the knowledge mastery of the subject area. You practice scholarly teaching. What is scholarly teaching? In Anugerah Academy Negara, AAN, one of the major things that we look at whether this person or this candidate are practicing scholarly teaching. I have a slide to explain what is scholarly teaching. Yeah. Student-centeredness. We talk about student because we want to put student at the center here. It doesn't mean that teaching centered or teacher centered is not relevant. No, it's still relevant. But we are moving towards more empower the students, giving responsibility and ownership to the students for their own learning. That's what student-centered is about. It's for the students, not for us. Effective communication, versatile or polymath. I give another talk on being a polymath, meaning that we have a range of skill, not only one. Okay, so-called a T model. You have at least one expertise, but you have also broad-based knowledge at the same time. Flexible, lifelong learner. A professional educator is also a lifelong learner because they continue to learn. They are so hungry and so thirsty to acquire new knowledge. Whenever they see the webinar like this being announced for free, especially, they will put in the calendar and they said, I must attend this one and focus, dedicate my time really to focus and learn because I want to grow. I want to become more competent. Then the next thing is about performance. You deliver what you are expected of you as a professional educators, giving a meaningful, impactful, and memorable learning experience and educational experience as well. You are highly respected and become a model. And of course, the conduct. Remember that the definition of professionalism, the conduct, aims, and so on just now, they are driven by passion. Whatever they do, they don't ask, what's in it for me? What's the reward for me? Well, sounds ideal, right? Sounds ideal, yes. But think about some of the things that you have done so far during your tenure so far in the university. I'm sure there are things that you do that you don't care whether there's a reward, whether you get points, whether you will be rewarded in some forms, whether this will be counted in my promotion or in the SKT, for example. I'm sure there are one or two things that you have done that you never really thought, never come across your mind that you need something out of it. It's really driven by your passion. Can you share maybe one in the chat box, something that really driven by your passion and you don't really care about any external rewards or incentive from this? Please, please, if you can share in the chat box, I will have a look later on because it's very important to me. Because why? When you are doing something driven by only your passion, you will deliver the best and beyond the best, because you will stretch yourself. You will kind of making it from your heart. You are doing it with kasih sayang, orang kata, ya, tanpa memikirkan sebarang ganjaran. Cuma kita kata semoga Allah memberkati usaha kita ini. So apa saja ganjaran di akhir nanti, apabila ya kita menghadapi hari yang perhitungan itu. Kalau lagi Muslim lah, that's how what we believe ya. So teach from the heart. Orang kata teaching is hard work, H-A-R-D. I shared in the Facebook yesterday, I think, or day before. Teaching is hard work and also hearty work. Teaching is hard work and also hard work. Yeah? Maybe my pronunciation is not good enough to differentiate between hard and heart. Okay, but you get the message. Demonstrate and practice values. You have to project that image as a professional educator. Demonstrate that your behavior, your personality, the way you talk, the way you say things, the way you interact with people, the way you have conversation, the way you even write in the WhatsApp, in the social media even. Everything is professional about you. Carry oneself in a respectable manner. Just now, someone said grooming, yeah? Yeah, even the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you stand, the way you dress, the way you smile even. Okay? Ethical conduct, reflective practitioner. Yes, professional educators always reflect. For example, after the session, you know what? After every webinar, I will watch my whole presentation again. Do you believe it or not? I will watch the whole recording again. Why? Short sendiri ke? Short sendiri ke? Tidak. Because I want to learn from my own pitch and also learn how to improve, where to improve things. For example, I think I have improved a bit on you know. Itu one of my bad habits tu. Tapi you know, tapi I think I have improved that by learning how to improve, to reduce the so-called filler words apa semua tu. But still very not up to that level yet. So, reflective practitioner. At the end of the class, if you cannot reflect immediately, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week, maybe during the weekend, how can I improve? Whether I have done well, whether I have done according to the plan, lesson plan, everything, or whether I went astray, things like this. Team players. Professional educators is also team players. They don't work alone. No man is an island. They believe that no man is an island. I am part of the community and society. I want to work collaboratively, cooperatively. I want to synergize with other people. I don't want to lock up myself in the room. I want to work together. That spirit of camaraderie. Camaraderie. My pronunciation is not that probably good, but I learn. Okay. Camaraderie, yeah. The spirit of togetherness. The spirit of wanting to be or work together. The spirit of berat sama dipikul, ringan sama dijinjing. Bukannya berat sama dipikul, ringan bagi I bawa. Ya, itu bukan semangat togetherness. Yang susah you buat, yang senang bagi ke I. Okay, so that's not professional. Tak professional lah macam tu. Kan? Okay. Ada yang ketawa ya. Tak apa, mari kita ketawa ramai-ramai. Take it lightly. Okay. Seriously but lightly also. And I hope I don't sound patronizing ya. I hope you don't take it that way. Anggaplah apa dia nak kata orang tua pun tidaklah ya. Yang ada sedikit pengalaman to share with all of you. Scholarly teaching. Remember, one of the traits of professional educator in terms of their teaching, they practice scholarly teaching. And remember, dalam anugerah akademi negara, kita sangat melihat aspek ini, scholarly teaching. Apa maksudnya? committed to using a teaching approach informed by sound pedagogical principles and theories, research and evidence-based practices in education. Kita maksudnya whatever we do, so ini dalam apa ni, ada macam-macam model kan, TPAC dan sebagainya tu, maknanya everything must be the underlying or the underpinning philosophy, the theory, principle, mestilah ada sound evidence-based, research-based principle. Contoh kita kata, we talk about motivation. So kita buat benda ni sebab kita nak motivate student. So itu scholarly teaching ke? Yes, it can be part of scholarly teaching sebab motivation. Ada evidence in terms of adult learning theory, ya, yang mengatakan bahawa adult will learn if they are motivated to learn. Adult will learn if they have something that motivate them to learn. Kan? So ini yang maksudnya pedagogical principle and theories, research and evidence-based practices in education. So I want everyone here to reflect on this. On your teaching now, whatever that you do so far, whatever innovation that you choose to introduce in your classroom, are they been proven effective through research? Buat PBL contohnya, ya. Saya nampak Prof Aiza dekat sini tadi. Buat PBL, problem based learning, project based learning, scenario based learning, whatever, collaborative learning, ya, macam-macam, immersive learning, deep learning, macam-macam. Tapi what is the underlying principle there? What are the adult learning theories that you subscribe to, that you apply here? What are the research evidence, for example, from all these prominent researchers in education or in engineering, whatever? So we have to make sure everything is guided by the pedagogical principle and theories. Dalam anugerah akademik negara, bila kita baca portfolio, banyak yang kita mendapati bahawa dia menerangkan apa yang dibuat dan sebagainya, gamification, whatever lah, ya. Tapi dia tak terangkan apa dia punya the pedagogical principle behind it, the theory behind it. So di situ ada kelompongan di situ, ya. So professional educators, macam tadi saya sebutkan, they highly driven by passion. It's not so much driven by the external rewards, incentive dan sebagainya. Kalau ada, itu bonus, ya. So saya selalu gunakan perumpamaan Lionel Messi ni bagi orang yang minat football, ya, sport. Lionel Messi, one of the probably top footballer in the world, at least in this during this century lah, ya. Lionel Messi. So dalam satu interview, in one of the interviews with the magazine, the interviewer asked him, what's really motivate you to become the top player in the world, so good? Dia kata, actually money is not a motivating factor. Wow, betul ke kan? Tak percayalah. Sebab gaji dia seminggu, 1 week, millions, ya. Millions, a week. Unbelievable. So dia kata, money is not really a motivating factor. Money doesn't thrill me. Wow. Money doesn't thrill me. I wish I could say that. Or make me play better. Or better. I'm just happy with a ball at my feet. Dia kata, wow. Bestnya. Ya. Tapi dia actually acknowledge, there are benefits to being wealthy. I can do whatever I like. I can fly anywhere. Ya. Tapi my real motivation comes from playing the game I love. If I wasn't paid to be a professional footballer, I would willingly play for nothing. Whether you want to believe him or not, that's a different matter. But dalam konteks kita ni, education, how do we say the same thing dalam konteks education? So this is a picture that from one of our PDP program for new lecturers, yeah. So I purposely take this picture because here Dr. Chow, I really admire him because he joined USM after teaching for 10 years in other universities. And usually when new lecturers join USM, whether they have been teaching for 10 years, 15 years, they have to join the new lecturers, who just joined USM. And I get many people who join USM from somewhere, have 5 to 10 years experience. They came and asked for exemption. Yeah, they came and asked for exemption because they said, oh, I have experience already. I know how to teach. And I have never given any exemption. They have to join. But Dr. Chow here, he didn't ask for exemption. He came, he joined, and he actually brought his experience and share with the young lecturers. And he was one of the best participants. He really enjoyed it. And he said to me that thanks, Prof. Karim, for having this program, because although I've been teaching for 10 years, but there are a lot of new things I learned during these 2 weeks. That is the kind of professional educator, lifelong learner that always seeking new knowledge and humble enough to bring himself down among the new lecturers, young at age and young at service also, and learn together. So just like Lionel Messi just now, can we say this? I don't know. Probably I cannot also say to this extent, money is not a motivating factor. I just still need money. Money doesn't thrill me or make me teach better. I'm just happy with the chalk in my hand or marker pen in my hand or my laptop, whatever. But of course, we know if we have money, it's good also. If our salary is higher, that's also good because we don't have to worry about money, kan? So kalau ada bonus tahun 2 bulan gaji kan bagus kan, jadi dapatlah membantu kita, dan we can free our mind thinking about money, that we can focus on our teaching. So there are benefits to being wealthy, but my motivation comes from teaching the subject I love and students I adore. Well, if you can say this and you get a goosebump, bulu roma naik, then you are really truly have teaching, and you can teach really from the heart. And if you can say, if I wasn't paid to be a teacher, I would willingly teach for nothing. Okay. So, my dear colleagues, kalau student kita pula boleh kata macam ni, grades are not a motivating factor. Grades don't thrill me or make me studying harder, because there are benefits to having a first class, of course, and 4 flat. But I'm just happy with the knowledge and skill I gain. My motivation comes from studying the subject I love. If a paper qualification is not required for job or further study, I would willingly be studying for the love of learning. Nothing else matters. Right? So Simon Sinek, the best-selling authors, from his book, The Big Why, Start with Why. Yeah, I just take a quote from his book here. If working hard for something we don't care about is called stress. So if you feel you are under stress now, maybe you are really doing something that you don't really care about. But working hard for something we love is called passion. Passion, yeah, Dr. Wong. Passion. Well, probably some of you will say, how I wish that everything that I do is driven by passion here. My all-time favorite, the name that I always share in many of my sharing my presentation here, is this guy, a physics professor from MIT. He has retired for many years already. If you go to YouTube and search for his name, Walter Lewin, yeah, you will see the way how he set up his classroom, the way he teach and so on. Then you will understand why MIT is one of the top institutions in the world, because the kind of academic that they have, the kind of lecturers that they have. Just look at Walter Lewin and how he do his teaching. And he even wrote a book, For the Love of Physics. From the end of the rainbow to the edge of time, a journey through the wonders of physics. When I went to MIT, when I went to MIT, I wanted to see him. I sent him email, but he didn't reply. But I saw his book in the bookshop, For the Love of Physics. So imagine if you one day can write a book for the love of chemistry, for the love of biology, for the love of food technology, for the love of pharmacy, for the love of engineering, for the love of whatever. You can only write such book if you are really in love with what you do now, your teaching, your subject matter. Are you? Are you in love? Yes? No? Or just doing it because it's part of the job that I need to do? So you have the answer. You have the answer. So we can also look at ourselves, not just a mere lecturer or teacher or researcher in the context of teaching. We need also to look at ourselves as a learning designer. We need to look at ourselves as a mentor, as an like orchestrate experience, like orchestra, the music orchestra, the person in front. What do you call this? Forgot. Every time I forgot. Conductor. Thank you, Dr. Muhammad. Conductor, bukan conductor tiket bus, ya. Ya, selalu lupa lah. And the participant always help me. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Conductor. The conductor, the role of conductor, because there are many musician and different music instruments, kan? So dia kata, okay, kita nampak macam dia main-main, tapi sebenarnya kita okay, the violin here, the drums here, the macam-macam. And when they play, put together, all the instrument put together, all the notes put together, become a very nice music. That is orchestra, orchestrate. So our role is also to orchestrate learning experience. Oh, I have about 18 minutes before 11:30 I think about 2 hours 2 hours 11:30, or maybe extend a little bit more. But this is the thing, ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, when we talk about professional and being professional educator, this is one of the things that we need to always remember and be mindful. We want to deliver the best learning experience to our students, because students demand experience, not just education. So why not give them the awesome learning experience? Don't disappoint them, because we have promised them from the program learning outcome. We have promised them for each course that they take, the learning outcome. At the end of this course, you should be able to describe, explain, solve, create, apply, whatever the verbs that many of us just do it for the OBE, for the sake of compliance, but we don't menghayatinya. I mean, menghayati, when I say menghayati, we go several layers below, just like peeling the onion, remember? So we want to give the students the best learning experience. Because Maya Angelou keluar lagi Maya Angelou ni. Dia kata, I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget how you made them feel. Itu yang kita kata. Forgive, but not forget. I can forgive you, I can forgive him, I can forgive her, but I will never forget what he said. Kalau Maya Angelou kata, people will never forget. People will forget what you did, what you said. Tapi some people say, I forgive, but I will never forget what he said, what he has done to me. But actually, is basically words that has been said still stick to our mind, because the impact is on how those words made you feel. Those are the things that you say, well, I've forgiven her, I've forgiven him, but it's still there. Sakitnya tuh di sini, orang kata ya. Sakitnya tuh di sini, di dalam hati. Okay. So ini satu lagi from Alan Cohen. Dia kata, don't just give your students experience. Punya mouse ni buat hal. Okay, don't just give your students a lesson. Every normal teacher, ordinary teacher can do that, but you want to give them an experience, a memorable, unforgettable learning experience, educational experience that 20 years after they have graduated, they will still remember you for that. They'll remember the experience. Maybe don't remember you per se. Maybe they will forget our name, but they will remember the experience. Stick to their mind, kind of etch on their mind. Diukir dalam pemikirannya ya. Terpahat, itu dia. Terpahat di dalam mindanya. So, to become a professional educator, being a reflective practitioner, remember I mentioned about being a reflective practitioner just now? Meaning that we always ask the right and relevant questions, evaluate ourselves in terms of how well have we done, how well have we performed, how do I make this course more exciting, more interesting, more engaging, more fun. But at the end of the day, the bottom line is students learn. Learning happen. So we learn how to do a proper assessment, the summative, formative, whatever assessment. We learn how to do online assessment because now we are going blended or hybrid. We are going to do change our assessment because now ChatGPT is here. So we need to do a different form of assessment. So Larry Spence kata, we won't meet the need for more and better education until teachers become designers of learning experience. So kita kena create the magic moment, experience, remember? So we have to create that magic moment yang terpahat, yang akan terpahat di dalam sanubari fikiran pelajar. Ini Walter Lewin tadi. Jom kita tengok sekejap video dia, tak sampai 1 minit.
You count. Oh, my expectations are high. I want to hear you loud. You ready for this? Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And here is the femur of an elephant. 0. So I need a volunteer. 1, 2, relax. What does it remind you of? Two, 1, 0. T with Walter Lewin. 45.6 plus or minus 0.1 seconds. Physics works, I'm telling you.
Physics works, I'm telling you. See the kind of energy, demonstration. Walter Lewin practiced at least 6 hours to get the demonstration perfect, seamless, and countless hours to just do the preparation and everything. This benchmark is so high that when I look at myself over, like when I was in USA for 28 years, I probably not even a fraction of what Walter Lewin has done. Shame on me. Rasa malu, rasa if I can turn back the clock, if I could turn back the clock, kononnya, ya, nak buat lagi hebat. Tapi, yeah, we are given only that one chance only, ya. Okay. So kita tuan-tuan dan puan semua, my dear colleagues, while you still have time, X number of years, I hope this session this morning really give you the opportunity to reflect and then take this from me. Use whatever time that you have now to really look at your teaching, reevaluate the whole thing. If necessary, do some makeover or even total makeover, because this is your opportunity now to transform, the way you do things. You want to create your ultimate aim is to create unforgettable learning experiences for your students. Something that you can be proud of yourself. When you go out, you step out after you retire, you leave behind all, not the legacy. I'm not talking about legacy here. I'm talking about how you have done your best, your fair share for the university, for the students, and how you have done your best to deliver the promise in the learning outcome for each course that you have taught and for the program educational outcome. Okay, so look at
3, 2, 1, hit it in, and the crowd. Maybe it's just me, but that's funny. I'd like to buy the can of paint. I always shake it first.
Can find his name on YouTube. Listen to what he.
It's a magnet. Is it lucky for you? I know how to put it back. Find me a group of people that laugh together and work together. I'll find you some amazing teachers. Find me in business when people love to come to work and they laugh and there's this energy in there. That's an amazing group of people. How many breaths? Let me slide it down because you are doing a great job. Look at this. We slide it down and it comes out this big old hole over here. In 15 years of asking the questions, I'm trying to find the difference between good and great. A great teacher doesn't teach us facts. They teach us this real-world application. And a great teacher teaches us not how to do something, but why to do it. And the long and short of it is a great teacher teaches us these unforgettable and kind of gives as a gift these unforgettable learning experiences. You just kind of.
That's what I mentioned and said again and again, reiterate again, unforgettable learning experiences. So this is something I think we should set our aim high, regardless of the situation that we have, the limitation and the constraint that we have, the demand that is expected of us, but never forget, first and foremost, our promise to the students that we need to deliver the learning outcome, the program outcome. So the onus is on us, responsibility is on us to deliver that. Because if we don't, collectively, remember, if we have 2,000 staff at the university, collectively only 10-20% of them deliver what they're supposed to deliver in terms of teaching and learning, in terms of learning outcome and program outcome, then the institution will fail as a whole. It will give bad name to the institution. When the students go out as alumni, not many of them will promote the university, will become the ambassador to the university voluntarily, because they don't have the best experience when they were students, and they don't want to promote because they don't want to give a wrong impression and a wrong message to the students, saying that this university is the best. I enjoyed being a student here, and when those students came, when the students joined the university, then it turned out that indah kabar dari rupa. So I think we need to be very careful here and reevaluate our role in the whole institution. Yeah. So I guess, yeah, I just go through, maybe at this point, I think I don't want to proceed at this point, maybe one more slides here. So far, I have covered only 30 plus slides. I have actually 100 plus slides here. I just purposely put all the slide here because I'm giving away for you to download. There's a lot more to it. I don't want to bore you or to hold you for a long time here. But I think I have delivered the main message here of being achieving teaching excellence through professionalism here. The main message I have delivered. I think maybe at this point, let us have a discussion. Maybe I just stop the sharing first. Yeah, I just go through and look at the chat. Maybe for your any question, Panja, can you help me if there are questions that you can highlight to me, or maybe any participant can unmute the microphone as well. Let us ponder on what I have covered so far. I would love to hear your perspective, your thoughts on this one. Adding to what I have presented, it will be good to have some dialogues here. Yeah. Panja, ada soalan ke yang you boleh pick up from the chat? Because I need to scroll jauh.
One question.
Yeah.
Okay. There's one question from Dr. Rashid. Tulis kat sini, since most of the university try to champion in research and publication, sometimes we lost grasp on teaching. So how to make balance between teaching and research needs?
Yeah, this is where one of the strategies. When we are professional educators, we have come to the level or stage where we are able to manage. We are able to manage our day-to-day in terms of time. And to me, the most important thing is to develop a workflow. That's my answer to that. Because workflow, meaning that when you reach that level, your work will just flow. But to reach that level where your work, it just flow nicely, seamlessly, effortlessly, to that extent, effortless, it become like a second nature. So you have to develop the workflow, for example, the teaching part, So you make sure that you have done your so-called requirement for the OBE, your teaching file, what we call it, which I failed to do that at the later stage of my teaching because I get busy with administration and so on. So luckily I have my teaching partners helping me, the younger lecturer who helped me to do that. So, but in my early days of teaching, I basically make sure that I take care of the teaching part. I develop the so-called the workflow in terms of how do I prepare, when do I prepare. I've created a question bank, macam-macam lah for the teaching part. For the research, I know at the very early stage that I need to establish my research. So the research grant and so on, I used to buy the equipment so that I can set up the lab that would cater for my research, Then we establish our own reputation at the very early stage as a researcher, so that we always get good words passed around by our students at the early stage. Then words of mouth, then from there we get the best student to come to do postgraduate studies, master's, PhD. So you create a pool of a kind of group of people in your research group, things like that. So the answer to me, in order for us to grapple, to manage a lot of things that the things that we do every day, the routine part can be automated now with all the technology that we have. We need to learn how to use now digital productivity tool. That's one of the workshop that probably I want to organize, because I find that with all this digital tool that I learn to use, then it can really facilitate and make my workflow more efficient. So you need to develop the workflow that is efficient, so that you can increase your productivity in terms of teaching, in terms of application, and so on. So that's, to me, very, very critical to have in terms of the workflow, and of course, there's no such thing as balancing. When we say balancing is the income, what come to our mind is like summer, 50-50, right? Even when we talk about work-life balance, there's no such thing as balance like 50-50, equal weight. No, to me, it's just kind of getting things the priority right, the timing right, meaning that there's a time for family, there's a time for work. But when you come to work, there's only 8 hours in the office. And that 8 hours is a precious time for us to really focus. But I've seen people during the office that they have time to go and chat. They have time to read a newspaper. They have time to spend, like half an hour at the canteen. I cannot afford that time because I know my 8 hours in the office is my productive time. So it's all about our discipline also. It boils down to our discipline, which is part of the establishing the workflow. So if we can find the sweet spot where we can kind of prioritize and manage the time, I'm sure we should be able to juggle the ball and not reach the point where we feel that we are running out of steam, we are running out of energy, and we are burning out. That's as much as I can respond to that questions lah. Of course, I want to say this. I'm talking from a different kind of vantage point. Some of you probably will see that. Okay, Prof Karim tak apalah, dia dah retire, dia dah pension, dia dah sampai tahap itu, kan senang lah dia cakap, kan. I hope those words don't come across your mind tau. Because when you start thinking about that, you are now denying yourself and you start to close your mind to whatever that I've shared just now. If you start thinking about that, Prof Karim boleh lah. Dia boleh lah invest money, beli software, subscribe itu, subscribe ini, sebab dia punya gaji tinggi lagi. Because I have heard all this comment said to me, whether personally or whether in like this. So if you start saying that, I think you are just putting yourself in the disadvantage kind of apa orang kata way lah, ya.
Prof,
Yeah, silakan.
I think maybe you are here now. It looks easy, but for everybody who looks like they're in the flow and easy, there always was a starting point, and that first starting point is usually a lag time, very slow, very tough, very challenging, very confusing, and you went through it. The thing is, it's not seen by people who, when you tell them this story, they see you now. They didn't see you then.
Yeah.
But what I try to do is always imagine, for you to get to where you are, you must have started somewhere, started from zero. Because nobody gets born with what you have, Prof. It's hard-earned effort, skills, so many things, and I really look up to you. You retire, but you're still doing work, contributing to society, and that's something, it's not every day people have that. The motivation, if I can have a little drop of your motivation and your passion, I think I can survive this next 10 years when I retire. Thank you, Prof.
10 more years?
10 more years. Yes,
10 more years.
Yeah. So my plan for the next 10 years is, of course, put in a workflow. But every year there's something new that comes in on my plate, and I don't know how to say no. Sometimes I sit down at home and go, why do you always say yes to helping people, doing this, doing that, all the nitty-gritty. You really need to go and, pick those important greens for your professorship or for your LNPT, not these things, but this is how I'm made. Sometimes the things that people think don't count, it's not counted in assessment, I feel satisfied doing, I feel happy doing, I feel there's a certain value to life, and I cannot stop doing it. Sometimes the student asks me to do something extra. There's no letter of appreciation for me. There's nothing. There's no assessment points for me from there. But I end up doing it, and it takes the bulk of my time. So it gets me tired, but I tell myself, okay, look at it from a good point of view. You know, you took love and did work, put effort in something you love. It's always a holiday. Take it as a holiday, a fun part of your life. So I always do that. But sometimes too much, Prof. I need to focus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you feel too much or overwhelming, then take a few days leave. Yeah, that's really.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Rachel, that's really a very good attitude, and that's a kind of attitude now. I think, yeah, what the professional being, being a professional, that's a kind of attitude that we need to take, because when you are, you can only test your real strength and endurance when you are at the worst point in your life. Yeah, so let me tell you all, share with you all something. I'm giving this webinar now while I'm in my mind now. I'm so worried, tak senang hati, because my wife is having a small operation this morning. I'm not supposed to be giving a webinar now, but my wife pesan, dia kata, alah, just a minor operation, don't worry, just go ahead and don't cancel it. I wanted to tell UMT I need to cancel, because this morning my wife is having a small operation. So, but my wife being there for all the years, my backbone, my strong supporter, have been very supportive. So we need a so-called support system. We need a support system around us to help us. So if you feel that you are at the worst point, you feel that you are at a point where you become so overwhelmed, and you want to give up, you want to just leave everything behind, and you just want to shout from the top of your lung, because I'm so frustrated, I'm so extremely stressful. Then just remember, go to our support system, our people of strength, our pillars, and get support from them. It will be a kind of momentary kind of moment where you need to take a break, take a deep breath, take a leave, go away and come back. Orang kata apa, take a stock, come back fresh, and look at things from different perspective or fresh perspective. Yeah, Dr. Rachel, you're right. People don't see the struggle. People just see our success. But who wants to know the struggle? So these are the kind of forum or avenues where when we have the opportunity share with our younger colleagues that there's nobody say that the journey is easy. You have to go through from being a novice to being a professional, and finally being recognized by the university, by the deans, by the peers in our area, our research area, for example, by the society, by the nation, by the international society, and so on. It takes time. It's a journey. And sometimes you won't get even there. Maybe just halfway through. But that's all right if you have performed your very best. Stretch your comfort zone. You don't have to step out from the comfort zone. You just expand your comfort zone. Try new things, try new challenge, create new opportunities for yourself. So yeah, I think that was a very good, yeah.
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam, Dr.
Very
Nurhafeza.
good. Yeah, good morning,
Dari
Prof.
mana ni?
Secretary. UMT, Prof.
UMT, okay.
It's always, I mean, like for me, it's like always listening to you is like reviving the energy because kadang-kala rasa macam, oh, like really need to know, like to
Yeah.
listen to it. So thank you, Prof. So I have a question actually, Prof. To be very honest, we are actually now dealing with the Gen Z and Alpha generation, which is these generations are the technology savvy and also they are more on, you know, like they are care about their online avatar. And because of this, they lose the human touch. Personally, I mean like human touch in terms of, I mean like, you know, time with the families because both parents are working. I mean, comparing myself like and my friend, I'm sure my generation, millennials, dia salah seorang je bekerja. So now my question is how to bring these students back to reality and touch their heart. Because at the moment now we're talking about the professionalism from us, our side as academicians. How about, you know, professionalism from the student side? Because I've seen it, experienced it, and kind of like, you know, dengar juga kawan-kawan cakap like, you know, students losing all this common sense. Instead of, you know, instead of we waiting for them to send assignments, we kind of have to like run towards them and ask where's your assignment and things like that, which is it never happens during my generation, the millennials, and I'm sure your generations as well. So mungkin Prof boleh share, I mean like, you know, all this how to, you know, to keep these students, you know, back to reality and lose I mean and touch their heart so that they become a better human. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Salwa. That's really a very good questions, excellent questions. Because all this while, many of our program, teaching learning center punya program, basically focus on the professional development of the academic staff, the lecturers. We talk about the strategies, innovation, the how to do assessment, all these things, basically on the operational part, on the ground level, how to go about to deliver the best learning experience. But it's not to say that we forget, but we sometimes overlook the other part because learning, at the end of the day, is done by the students. It's not learning is not something we do to the students or for the students, but something that the students do for themselves. That's what student-centered learning is about, kan? So you are right. We tend to forget intentionally or unintentionally, maybe unintentionally, about the students themselves. And the thing about students are basically the millennials, the Gen Z, Gen Y, Gen Z. Basically, they live their life the moment they were born. They are surrounded by technology. So technology come naturally to them. They expect technology. They expect to use technology as part of their daily life, as part of their learning. They expect us, the teachers, also to use technology. So, but when there are too much technology, our concern now become how can we make them now more human in terms of the social aspect rather than just looking at the screen all the time, at least in the classroom. You want them to look at each other, interact with each other, have a good conversation as a human. That's because remember the 3 C's, connection, communication must happen in order to create a community. There is no community if there are no people. But if there are people but they don't communicate, then if they don't communicate, then they won't be able to connect to each other. When this thing don't happen in our classroom, then they just become a robot perhaps. So this is what we call when we say about technology, how do we humanize technology? I think it's not so much of humanizing the technology. It's about our approach now. How do we talk to the students? How do we advise them? So there's no easy answer for that. Reason being, we have very little time with the student in our class. Kan? Berapa banyak masa yang kita ada? Dan bila kita pergi kelas pula, dalam kepala kita, dalam fikiran kita, in our mind, we just want to cover the syllabus. Tak cover the syllabus, will be in trouble. You have to answer to the whoever the program managers. You will be in trouble with the auditors. You'll be in trouble in your OBE things, reporting, everything kan. So in our mind, when you go for 1 hour class, it's not really 1 hour pun, 50 minit je. So nak cover the syllabus. Cover the syllabus means cover content. Then in the end, you end up with teacher-centered, putting up your slides, reading the slide one by one, and that's it, done for today. Very little interaction, very little student engagement, very little things. So where is the interaction? Where is the communication? Where is the conversation? So rather than giving the answer, no, actually I'm throwing the question back to all of us here. Little time for that. So macam mana ya? So I think we still can find a little time in our during the full 14-week semester. Imagine kalau semua pensyarah yang mengajar semua kursus pada that particular semester memainkan peranan dia masing-masing, semua, bukan seorang, bukan dua. Take 5 or 10 minutes of our time, just give a small talk, you know, make them aware, make them realize. Sometimes you just need a small talk to spark something in their mind. Oh, betul juga ya. Aku tak ada masa langsung apa ni semua bila apa ni asyik mata tengok phone aja. Kan? Tunggu di luar dewan kuliah sebelum masuk dewan kuliah pun nak tunggu the next apa ni nak tunggu student lain keluar baru nak masuk kan. Kan kat luar tu semua tengok phone. Kita sebagai lecturer datang pun, hello, good morning, tapi mata tengok phone, kan? Then kita pull lah a few of them, come, kan? I did that. So I walk the talk. Ini bukan hypocrite, yeah, I did that. So they come. Then kita small talk about the group of 4, 5, kemudian mungkin ramai pula akan dengar kemudian ini. So, tapi we have to do this consistently, and we cannot do it alone. Kita pakat-pakat. Kita kena cari masa, dan mungkin school atau jabatan atau fakulti boleh cari ruang-ruang lain juga. Jangan harapkan kepada HEPA nak buat satu universiti tak efektif. At the school level, kalau kat USM kita pergi school, at the faculty level, kena ada program-program kesedaran seperti ini, engage them, you know, because we want you, we tell them we want you to be a human when you go out from the university, not become a robot. Now with the chat GPT and so on, I don't have to give you content pun. When come to the classroom, let's spend our time now working on the problem and so on. So that's where the interaction, communication will happen. Well, I don't have definite answer for this, obviously, but there is something that we need to really think about it properly. It's our responsibility to make them human, just like our own children. You know, we want to always remind them that technology, we have high tech, but we want also to have high touch. We want to touch their heart. We want to talk like a parent. We want to show them our concern, real, genuine concern, that we don't want you to be like this. But when you use technology, tell them we use technology wisely. We want to become the master of technology, not the slave to the technology. Things like this, all these words, you must learn, you must get these words to their mind, to their heart, to their ear. But we must proactively do that. But of course, some people say, that's not our job. Our job is to teach the content. Our job, we are not a counselor. Pula, dia kata macam tu, we are not counselors. We are not doing that part of. So now we are passing the buck. So my job is your job, is your job, is your job. In the end, there's nobody's job. Okay, so it's a long answer. Perhaps not really an answer, tapi kind of something for us to think about together.
Thank you, Prof. Alhamdulillah, thank you.
Okay, so anything else? Yeah.
If you have any
That's a-
question, you can unmute, or I could go with the question, okay, that I collected.
Ponja, nanti when you quit, when we end the session, can you save the chat and share with me, because I don't have time to really go through.
Sure.
Probably some good feedback there. But I'm trying to
insyaAllah.
see pick up any questions here. Tapi kalau sesiapa
There are
nak,
a few.
yeah.
There are a few.
Okay, I have to okay. Okay.
Assalamualaikum, Prof.
Waalaikumsalam. Siapa ni ya?
I'm Zurina from UNITEN.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
UNITEN?
this could be the last question for this session, Prof.
Okay, silakan.
Okay, right now, I'm currently trying to associate with social media. So when we talk about the social medias such as TikTok, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and so on. So how is it the professional will be affected if I'm use this social live platform, social media platform, Prof?
Is it what? Is it?
If I'm using social media platform in teaching, is it my professionalism will be affected?
Oh. Well, no. Well, if you ask me, because I'm very visible on social media, especially Facebook. I'm not so much on Insta, but I think I'll need to have more visibility on Instagram. TikTok, I'm just a user, not a creator yet. Not yet, ya. To growth mindset tu, not yet tu, ya. Kita tak say no, not yet. Not yet maknanya belum lagi akan sampai ke situ. Yeah, but I'm on Facebook. I'm on the social media like Pinterest, banyak lagi lah. Blog can be considered also as social media. Does that mean that being a professional means that you stay clear of social media? I think it's the other way around, the opposite. I think we need to leverage the power of social media. Remember, I mentioned about technology just now, and the same thing goes for social media. Don't be the slave to social media, but be the master to social media. Use all the social media platform, the power of the reach and the power, the viral power of social media to really share our knowledge far and wide. For example, the Facebook group that I mentioned just now. The Facebook group, apa nama tadi tu? Yang ni ya. This one I started bila ya? Many years ago. From zero to currently berapa ya? Dia punya members. Kat mana dia tunjuk members? Kan tak selalu. I don't know. So last time I saw about 3K plus, yeah. Maybe now more. Where is it? Oh, 6. Wow. I never noticed this one, yeah. Last time I thought 3K, now 6K members. Tak perasan pun. Well, the point that I'm trying to I just wowed. Because I didn't realize now I have 6K members in this group, and I grow this group because Dr. Zurina, social media like Facebook is a place where we can use this as platform to share whatever can be focused on our profession, on our subject matter. I have one also on my own course that I teach and so on with the student. And this the best part of social media, because of course we can create a closed group, we can make it open to public. I make it open to public because I want this to reach out to global. So this is also part of the so-called academic branding. I've given a talk also on academic branding because it's very important for us to make ourselves visible. Not visible physically, you want to be popular, but you want to make your work visible. You want to make your research visible. You want to make your teaching visible. Visibility can come in the form of sharing things on social media. But we just need to learn how to use this platform properly, correctly, and in a way that will really achieve the objective they want to achieve. If you look at this group, I hope all of you can join. Yeah, I don't really bother about the members, the number of members here. No, because I'm not using this to sell anything here, but I just want to share good stuff in terms of resources. So yesterday this morning, I think I shared this one, quotes from Edutopia. And you know what? Edutopia is one of the websites when we talk about professional development, is one of the many websites that everyone should frequently go and read, because we can learn about new innovation, new technique, new strategies in teaching and learning, and so on. So I subscribe to this website, then I get in my email sometimes this thing. But those who don't subscribe, they don't know, they don't get. So what I did, I share this on my Facebook so that members of this Facebook can see it, can read it, and perhaps can give them some ideas or give them some new motivation, inspire them. So if you spend time and scroll through this one, I put on the website yesterday, hoping that people will join this. Puan Ja, saya share dalam my punya circle, and maybe some of participants joining this one also come from this Facebook when they see this one advertised. This one from the UMT one. So this is how we can use social media in the productive manner that serve our purpose, not just simply for social. But for social, of course, you can go to my, of course, if you want to join my personal Facebook as well, you can join if you like. This is basically the personal part of me, the other side of me, what I like, what I enjoy, things like this. Okay, so that's my answer to that, Dr. Zorina. Social media to me is a boon, not a bin. It's opportunities, not a threats. It depends on how you use it, because any technology can be used, can be abused. Any tools can be used, can be abused. A fool with a tool is still a fool. I always repeat this. Don't be a fool. You want to be a wise man, a wise guy, a wise person.
Thank you, Prof, for the sharing.
Thank you so much from UNITEN. UNITEN ni kan geng saya lah. All right, so anything else? Actually, okay, now I want to share my slide, the last slide, so that you can get the link to download. Share screen lagi sekali. So screen apa ni, PowerPoint ni banyak lagi ya. So I hope you can take time to go through. Banyak lagi nih, saja saya letak banyak-banyak supaya ya. Actually kita punya session ni sampai pukul berapa, Puan Ja?
12:30.
Oh, 12:30 ya. Okey, tapi mungkin orang pun tak mau lama-lama sangat. Mungkin saya nak cerita sikit aja pengalaman saya macam mana nak meningkatkan professionalism tu, boleh tak ya? So strategi ni lah part dalam kita punya learning outcome tadi tu, ataupun objective of this, maybe this last part lah, macam mana nak mencapai professionalism tu. Jadi kita kena invest, remember, invest time, invest money, continuous professional development, kena be a reflective practitioner, kita kena build positive relationship with student dengan colleagues, maintaining high ethical standard, and be agile, be ready, ever ready to adapt to a new changing environment, ya. Dan sebagainya, new methods of teaching. So contoh ya, saya invest my time, sacrifice my family, my family sacrifice my family jadi lain pula ya. Mentang-mentang nak raya korban ni. Okay, so pergi 3 bulan, 2 bulan, sebulan, untuk mencari ilmu, berkelana keluar negara, mencari ilmu, meningkatkan professionalism, ya. Duduk dekat Hokkaido ni. Ramai Malaysian pergi Hokkaido untuk melancong ya. Saya pergi Hokkaido tu during bad winter macam ni. I call it bad winter lah. Tak tahan dengan salji yang begitu apa ya. Nak mencari ilmu di sana, membuat research, belajar from the best researcher in Japan. Betul ke budaya kerja dia ni hebat? Rupanya memanglah sangat betul ya. My host ni, the top scientist in the institute. Rupa-rupanya dia jadi top scientist ni, rupanya cara kerja dia macam mana? Saya kena pergi kerja dengan dia everyday sebab saya tak ada transport, tempat institut tu jauh. So dia ambil saya setiap pagi, hantar saya malam balik. Rupanya from the very first day sampai di Hokkaido tu dia bawa pergi lab. Dia tak hantar saya pergi hotel, dia terus bawa pergi lab. Pukul 10 malam baru keluar daripada lab. Everyday sepanjang hampir 2 bulan saya berada di sana, sebulan setengah. Everyday without fail, balik pukul 10:30 malam. Time salji yang berat ini. Itulah budaya kerja mereka. That is part of the professionalism. Their professionalism. So, balik Malaysia, boleh ke saya jadi macam mereka? Yeah? Can I be like my host tadi? Tak boleh. Tak boleh sampai ke tahap itu. Okay. So, ini dia what I did. Yeah. Makan susah. Yeah. So, budaya mereka bekerja sama, makan sama-sama dalam lab, dalam bukan lab lah, dalam office ya. Itulah kekeluargaan, ikatan kekeluargaan, persahabatan, camaraderie itu dipupuk. Ini di Kagoshima 3 bulan ya, 3 bulan lebih. Teruji SPS fellowship. Ini pun untuk meningkatkan professionalism, mencari ilmu baru ya. Belajar budaya baru, survive on my own, left my family behind for 3 months, belajar nak masak, nak survive. Yeah. So learn. Professionalism is about also improving our skill, our knowledge. So ini modelnya, model M kalau boleh. Kita ada not only one expertise but more than one expertise at the same time we have broad-based knowledge. Itulah dia ya. Polymath, kita ada banyak kepakaran ya. Ini kita panggil polymath. That kita bukan saja pakar dalam satu bidang tapi kita ada 2 ke 3 kepakaran. But we don't want to be the apa ni kita panggil jack of all trades and master of none. But we want to be jack of all trades and master of at least one. Yeah. So sekarang ada online, macam-macam benda kita boleh meningkatkan ilmu kita melalui pembelajaran secara online ya. So in the end, being a scholar. Ini bukan nak menunjuk-tunjuk, bukan nak boasting ya. Wah, nak tunjuklah dia dapat anugerah akademik negara. Niat saya tidak begitu. Niat saya, we talk about being a scholar. A scholar is someone that has been recognized by the community, by the society, in this case, anugerah akademik negara at the national level. After 15 years, this one after 15 years in USM, yeah. So I hope all of you here listening and still staying on until now, tanamlah dalam jiwa masing-masing that bukan nak dapat award, tidak. I want one day being recognized as a scholar, someone that is known at the national, international level, being recognized for my contribution in teaching and learning, being invited to share my knowledge, my experience, my wisdom, sama ada dalam bidang kepakaran atau dalam hal-hal yang lain. So if you have this, put your aim high, that one day you will be here, then by design, you know what you need to do, what it takes to come to this level. It's a long way, it's a long journey. This award came after 15 years. And this award actually became my tipping point. Not turning point. Turning point ini dia patah balik, U-turn. Tipping point, meaning that it changes the trajectory of my academic journey. So instead of this slope, they change the slope. The slope from 1 to become 2, macam tu. Change the trajectory or even jump the trajectory from one curve to another curve. Jumping the curve. Right, so akhir sekali, Puan Ja, mungkin saya nak mengakhiri di sini dengan kata-kata, tadi ada kata-kata Simon Sinek tadi, kalau semua masih ingat apa dia kata? Simon Sinek tadi kata apa? The big why kan? Maknanya if we do something and we feel stressful because you don't enjoy, you do something that you don't like. So when you do something that you don't like, it's called stress. But when you do something driven by passion, by your internal intrinsic motivation, then it's called passion. But during these 2 hours or well, 2.5 hours already.
2.5 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sampai saya tak rasa tau. I think I can go on and on. Because I'm driven by my passion. I'm in my elements now. Meaning that I forget about time when I talk about all this. I get goosebumps a few times when I say something. You don't know, you don't feel it. But I get goosebumps really every time when I talk about the same thing again and again. This is not the first time I talk about this. But when I talk about this, it really come from my heart. And I sincerely want everyone to really internalize this, menghayati this one. Because I know the journey ahead is still bumpy. Your ride will be bumpy for sure. You know, you'll be up and down, up and down. So during these 2.5 hours, my words may inspire. And that's what I hope to achieve also, to inspire you. But inspiration and motivation, it goes only a certain way. Only, it goes that far only. Just like iman. Iman kita pun pasang surutnya ada. But you need to take action. Immediate action after this. Only action creates change. Most of us live our lives by accident, not by design. We live life as it happens. We just go by the flow. Go by the flow. Go with the flow. So you don't really pause, take a break, reflect, and then sometimes you need to change the path, change the trajectory, change the pace. But that can only happen if you take action and take a break, think about, reflect, muhasabah, and then only you continue. Fulfillment comes when we live our lives on purpose. So we have to always ask our questions. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I feel so overwhelming and so stressful? Am I doing something that I don't like? Am I doing something that I don't really enjoy? Am I cherishing this experience? Am I really honest and being sincere with my students, and I give the best to my students, and not only the best but beyond the best? Am I teaching beyond the textbooks, or I just take everything from the textbooks? All these questions are pertinent questions that we need to ask from time to time, so that we can reflect and we can probably take some form of intervention if necessary, and take actions. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear colleagues, whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well. Don't just do it halfway, half big, and be content with it, be complacent. If you undertake anything in the future, put your mind to it. If you have to say no, well, it's hard to say no. I have to admit. For a long time, I just say yes. But recently, only a few days ago, I said no to someone that I highly respect, someone that I really feel bad when I disappoint her. Well, I can say here, I said no to Dato Asma recently. If you know Dato Asma, she called me a few days ago, a few days, maybe 4 or 5 days ago, 3-4 days ago. Karim, when I call you, bila you dengar I punya suara lemak-lemak ni, I want something from you. Saya kata, alamak, apa dia Dato'? I want you to do this. So, but don't say yes straight away, because there is a big thing, this national agenda. So you will be the anchor, the writer actually, the writer of the white paper. So, writer? Yeah, lama. So, okay, she gave me one day to think about. I never said no to her. So dia kata, okay, I expect tomorrow, Karim, YES. Dia kata, wah, you give me time, but you already put some expectation already. Joke lah dengan dia kan. But it was really hard for me because I know I have a lot of commitment now with UNITEN, so I need to deliver for UNITEN. So the next day, I karang a long WhatsApp, but actually the message is no lah, NO. So because I know if I say yes, I probably won't be able to give my full commitment. I cannot put my mind to it. Then I will deliver less than my standard that I set for myself. So I risk myself to say no to Dato' Asma for the first time because I don't want to put myself and to compromise on my standard. So I have to say no for the first time to my respected person that I always say yes to her. So that's basically, my dear colleagues, my standard PowerPoint, my Steve Jobs, stay hungry for knowledge. Stay foolish, be creative, although people label you as crazy. Be innovative, be creative. You know, the best invention in the world by those scientists and inventors that during that time, they were labeled crazy and mad. Thomas Edison, you read I like to read the biography of these scientists and inventors. Yeah, you learn amazing things from them. Most of them were labeled crazy, a fool, mad person, and so on. Because at that time they don't understand what these people, the person is doing. But we get the electricity from Thomas Edison and so on. Yeah. So stay foolish. And for me, message to Dr. Rachel and others here who feel overwhelmed. I know the feeling overwhelmed, feeling stressed, feeling burning out, feeling like not wanting, not looking forward to go to the office tomorrow, having to think about, sending children to school, to tuition, having to juggle things in the family life, routine life every day. Believe me, I understand. So you need to stay strong. You must have your support system, good friends, and good circle that you can always get the strength when you are at the worst point in your life, in your career. Stay strong. And key takeaways: professionalism in teaching can be achieved by design through ongoing professional development, reflective practice, building positive relationship, maintaining ethical standards, adapting to new teaching methods. High standard of professionalism in teaching would lead to improved student outcomes, career development opportunities, enhanced respect and credibility within the profession. So thank you so much. This is a slide, thank you slide, and also an invitation to my website and the link to download the PowerPoint. I don't know whether, yeah. And there's also a quick way now. The millennial only looking for the QR code. They don't want the link, they want the QR code. So I give you the QR code. So to download this PowerPoint, and don't just keep the PowerPoint in your computer. I hope you can find time like 1 hour to go through and then share far and wide with your circle. And you can use this the PowerPoint, any part of the PowerPoint, any slide, if you want to remix and whatever you like to do with the PowerPoint. Okay, so with that, I would like to thank UMT for the opportunities given to me. I think this year I've already given 3, if not mistaken, 3 sessions for UMT. Thank you so much. I hope you will give me more opportunities in the future because I have more to share with you. I mean, not with UMT, but with the educational fraternity community. So much that I have in my heart, in my head, that I want to share with everyone, hoping to inspire you, motivate you, and to guide you whatever way that I can. So with that, thank you so much. I hope I've given value to everyone here, and feel free to share whatever that I've shared with you. So with that, back to you, Puan Ja.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Prof, for sharing your profound insights and tips on professionalism in teaching, being scholar, and also in life, even if your strong support system is in hospital right now. Okay, so I won't take too much of the time. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share my key points since you already get your key takeaways. So this is like going through. So starting with the key points. Okay, so what we have learned, okay, from Prof is professionalism is lifelong learning. So you have to be agile, you have to be adaptive to the surroundings. And then the most important part, okay, so this will be personal growth, okay, drives professional growth, which means that it comes from within ourselves first. So call to action for everyone, even for me. Okay, so we have to take care of self and family first. Like I said, I'm not going to elaborate too much because I need to, go through all of this, and then take a picture, and then we're going to say our thank yous and bye-bye. Okay, so strong support system is very, very important.
Yeah.
We have to go extra mile, go above and beyond, and we have to be very passionate in our work. Be a reflective self-support system, so which means that we have to check or review our performance. Okay, so this is something really, really new for me. So Alhamdulillah, thank you so much, Prof, for sharing that. And professionalism turns to scholar, so wisdom comes together with experience, which means that professionalism also at the same time, okay, you have to improve your knowledge, gain more knowledge, okay, and also your skills. So with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, that's the most important thing. Okay, and then so the next one will be teaching from the heart. So it's a hard work. Okay, I really love the words. Okay, teaching from the heart is a hard work. Teaching is a hard work, and teaching is a hard work. Right. So working hard for something we love is love. It's all about love. And be a reflective practitioner, and also we have to make sure that we deliver unforgettable learning experience to the clients, which is our students. Okay, and then leverage the use of digital tools, even social media. So that will be very fast takeaways. Okay. Okay, because we have to go back to your family, right, Prof? But before we end, can we take a picture first? So I would like to have everyone. Could you please turn on your camera? Okay, let's capture this very special moment. Okay, with a photo session. So I encourage everyone to turn on the cameras, join us in this virtual group photo. And we could have, okay,
I agree with the participants, Ponja. I agree with the participant. They awesome moderator.
Oh, thank you.
Awesome moderator. Ya, kita kena bagi tepukan. Boleh tak kita bagi tepukan kepada Puan Ja, moderator kita.
Okay, thank you so much.
Saya pun rasa semangat.
Okay. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Okay, jom kita kira countdown. Okay, from 10, 9, buka.
Wah,
Okay,
baru
everyone,
nampak lah.
turn on. 8, 7.
There are humans behind the screen.
Yes. 6.
Yeah, very nice to see the faces. Unfortunately, I probably only recognize a few.
2.
Kalau jumpa saya di mana-mana, tolong tegurlah ya, sebab banyak berlaku begitulah ya, sebab saya mungkin tak cam. So tegurlah.
Okay, Prof, it's smile time. Okay, jom. Sila. 3, 2, 1.
Smile.
Smile. Alhamdulillah. Okay, so with that, again, thank you so much, Prof, for a very enlightening, inspiring session, and also to all participants who joined us today. So
Yeah,
your
thank you.
engagement, yeah.
Ada 100 lebih ni.
Betul. Actually, 200. We reached 200 earlier.
Yeah.
Because of classes lah.
Wow.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you. Terima kasih, Prof.
Terima kasih, Prof. Jazakallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Assalamualaikum.
You give me all the energy that I need.
Okay, terima kasih.
Get well soon for your
Terima kasih banyak.
wife. Speedy
Thank you so
recovery.
much. Need
Bye-bye.
that.
All right.
Funny
Hope
now,
to
rush.
see everyone soon. Okay, thank you again, Prof.
Okay, bye-bye semua. Alhamdulillah, thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day.